Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scoring the Players on Newcastle Fans TV. Thanks to everyone who's turned straight over from the fan reaction or anyone just joining us. Please like and share the video as much as you can. It's much appreciated for the channel. I'm joined by the lovely Sam Milner. Sam, how are we doing?
Good. It's just been a couple of crazy Friday night games, hasn't there?
Yeah, it was certainly more competitive than I thought it was going to be. I'm sure most fans will agree. It wasn't just the layover and get 3 or 4-0 that I was expecting. So, a few positives to talk about as well for a change. So,
yeah.
Good stuff. So please get your comments in. If you agree with mine and Sam's rate, there's only 2 of us tonight. Any regular is usually 3 of us, but just me and Sam on the late one tonight, and then Lee straight on after with the last word. So we'll take you through all the evening with the match and the follow-up. So thanks for sticking with us. So Sam, I'll start with you. Goalkeeper Martin Dubravka. There was one change made in the entire team. It was forced on Steve Bruce, which was Big Joe coming in for the injury, Callum Wilson. So he stuck with the team. How did Dubravka do for you?
It was an odd one because he's conceded 4 goals, but could he have done anything about them? Not really. Did he have a save to make apart from that? Not really. It was it was odd. I can't really hammer him for any of the goals conceded, and I can't really. I've thought he commanded his area well once again. Came and claimed some crosses from corners and whatnot really well. I mean, I'm just going to give him like just an above average kind of 6 out of 10 because he didn't do anything wrong, but. I don't think he could have done too much. I mean, that Torres flick was just an absolute worldie. The first goal from Cancelo takes a horrendous deflection. And again, the Cancelo shot that hit the post and it came out to Torres. I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals, was he? So 6 for me.
No, when I first seen the first goal, I thought he was maybe flat-footed a bit. But when you've seen how bad the deflection was, there's not, and there were good finishes from the other 3 goals as well. So I think that's more than fair. I thought he didn't. His position was great, and there was a couple of shots in the first half he held on to well. It could have fumbled. So no, I think it's a fair score, that one. So we'll move on. I said the back 5 was the same. I'll move on to Jacob Murphy first, who I thought had a good game. I do. I thought Raheem Sterling was very, very quiet, and it was pretty much down to Jacob Murphy keeping him that way. Raheem Sterling's, the match winner, great player.
That was with Cancelo in the end. Sterling was neither here or there, was he?
Yeah. So he got caught out a couple of times at the end when Man City were knocking it around. But I'm going to give him a 7. I think I could have went a bit higher, but I think a 7's a fair score. He was in a back 5 that still conceded 4 at the end of the day, so I'm not going to go too high. But
yeah, I don't think he could have gone higher than that because Cancelo did have the better of him a few times. But at the end of the day, Cancelo's class. I thought he did. That for me was the best battle on the pitch through the entire game. Murphy and Cancelo.
I thought Murphy did well, hold him. Considering it's not really his natural position as a defender, I just want to get this lad signed on a better deal. It's criminal. I know there's a possible extension, but it's criminally not on a longer deal because he's still a lot of potential in the lad. He looks like he wants to play for the club. He's fighting for the badge. He was getting forward a bit as well in this game, which was good to see. I wasn't expecting our fullbacks to get forward at all, really. Cheers, Jay. Nice to see you. So yeah, for me, we've debated it all over the season, and he's first choice right back now. I still think we need a right back in the summer to push him a bit further on, but no, impressive game for me for Murphy. So yeah, if you agree with that, please again get it in the comments. How do you feel about Murphy? Potentially out of contract next month. Get it in there.
He's not. I don't think he's out of contract next month. When we had Andrew Musgrove on the Greenwood and Mulliner show the other week, he said that there's a year option like there was for Share. So I think they've got an extra 12 months to run now. But the fact remains he deserves a new deal now, doesn't he?
I think he's been our most improved player this year. I really do. I think, there was no way he was starting near the start of the season. We were close to loaning him or selling him back to Sheffield Wednesday, and we don't. He's come in. Bruce hasn't utilised him the best he could have the first half of the season. Second half, he's been excellent. But yeah, next player, Sam, will come on to you. A very unexpected goal scorer in Emil Kraft. So yes, he got the goal. Was he at fault for any goals? How do you rate him today?
bullet header, wasn't it? Fantastic header.
He looked shocked himself.
I don't think there was anyone that wasn't shocked. I couldn't believe it on the watch along. My word. Deserved to keep his place after last week. I think he did okay. There was a lot of slack defending going on, but you've got to look at the opposition as well. We're playing, all right, I know they've rested a few players and they haven't got De Bruyne, but they're still playing like one of the best teams, if not the best club side in the world at the moment, with kind of 3 centre-backs as well. Murphy and Ritchie weren't as deep as normal, so it was nice to have a bit more attacking intent. But when you're playing a side like that, the defensive side suffers, simple as that.
Yeah.
Kraft, it's a tricky one. I don't think he was as good as Murphy. So I am going to go 6.5. It was a wonderful, fantastic bullet header. Chuffed for him because he's been absolutely awful since he's been at Newcastle. There's no two ways about it. But there was a couple of things that he could have done better in defence. But again, as I say before, you can't really hammer him too hard about it because of just the sheer quality of the opposition. There was no glaring mistake. There wasn't a typical kind of Emil Kraft moment where you got your head in your hands. But at the end of the day, the defence has conceded 4 goals, but it is what it is. But yeah, cracking header. Keeper had no chance. Whether or not it was Edison or a 68-year-old Scott Carson, it was just superb header. But it's not nice to see these players struggle, and it's not. I know we all take. There isn't a person watching this who hasn't took the piss out of Kraft at some point or slagged off Kraft at some point. So it's nice to see him have a moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think he looked a bit more confident tonight. He wanted the ball a bit more as well than I thought he did against Leicester. And he didn't make any, as you standout mistakes. So yeah, I think that's a fair one. And again, great to see him get a goal for his confidence. Would you keep him?
No, if there's an opportunity to sell him, I still would sell him. And I would keep Manquillo as a backup, and then we still need. It depends how we go forward, because at the moment, do you need another right back if we're going to carry on playing this system, or can you cope with Murphy and Manquillo? So I would personally still sell him.
Yeah, I'll take the next one then. Federico Fernandez. Very much similar to what Sam said about Kraft. I don't think he had his worst game or his best. Ball watching for the 1 or 2 of the goals, especially the 4th goal. Him and possibly Dummett or Kraft. Can't think off the top of my head. Ball watching not good enough, especially when we're just taking the lead. Because he didn't get the goal, I'll go a bit lower than Kraft. 6, I'll give him. He's steady. He's a steady defender. I think he is what he is. You're going to get good games, but you're going to get the odd mistake out of him. Clearly wants to be at the club. Another one who's potentially out of contract. Would I give him another couple of years? I think the defence needs a big shake-up in the summer. So, possibly let him go. But, he's very rarely let us down, to be honest. But yeah, on tonight, again, he's playing against some quality players. Some of the finishes were just, especially that little flick, just not getting defendable with them.
No, absolutely worldly, wasn't it? But I don't disagree with you about potentially letting Fernandez go, which may surprise a few. But he's at that.
I think it's controversial because he's a good defender. I mean, we'd be arguing he's challenged our best defender, but he's 32 now, 31, 32.
I think he's more 30, 32, 33, isn't he? So are you going to get another couple of years out of him? Not really.
He hasn't got the pace, and I think when obviously teams like City will walk through a lot. We didn't shame ourselves today, but I think I want to progress next season, and I think we have to really improve the squad to do that. And if we have to get rid of a couple of players to do so, I think he'd probably be one if we get a better defender in. But anyway, that's another video we'll do. Anyway, so 6 for Federico Fernandez. Sam, back on you. His centre-half partner, Paul Dummett.
Yeah. Thought he was the weakest of the 3 centre-backs tonight.
Today.
Yeah, he played. He got unlucky. Well, a bit unlucky in one because he was playing Torres on side, and it was close. And if it had just been a bit more streetwise, and he always seems to be the one that's lagging behind the back line, and just playing these players on side, and it's cost us a bit tonight. I don't think he was horrendous. I don't think he was terrible like that. It was just one of these things. Again, it comes down to quality of opposition as well. I'm giving him a 5.5. Again, no real glaring mistake, but as you said, a couple of goals. A few. Dummett was caught ball watching for one. Fernandez was. Willock was, who we'll come on to. But yeah, again, it's when you're playing a team like this, shit happens. So, and it did.
Well, we'll go on like how we set up. We'll probably speak about when we go on about Bruce, but how we set up in the game. You're going to concede goals. So you can't be too critical. Considering we haven't got the best defense. So I agree with that. I think we've got that right in order. I thought Kraft, Fernandez, and Dummett, that in that order were more impressive tonight. I don't. But again, if you disagree, please, hammer it in the comments. We can take some of your sticks. We'll come on to your left wing back, who was Matt Ritchie. Tough one for me because I gave him a 9 last week against Leicester, I think, on scoring the players. Obviously not 9 tonight. Good couple of crosses in the first half. Joelinton's got a 50-pence seed. Like he whipped a cracking ball in for Joelinton at one point and just obviously miles over the bar.
Joelinton cleared another one as well.
It went straight up in the air, didn't it? Yeah. I was all right with Joe here, so I'm not going to slip too much. Did Ritchie set up the first goal, or was that Shelby corner? Because I think it was Shelby,
Ritchie, wasn't it? I think it was.
I don't remember. It was that far back. So I'm going to give Ritchie I'm going to give him a 6.5. Usually I always give Ritchie higher, but I just thought, again, maybe the quality of the team.
He's just an absolute warrior, wasn't he?
Yeah, I would have 11 on the pitch, to be honest. He got took off with 10 minutes to go, which I thought was a bit harsh on him. Just clearly loves the club. I love what he epitomises about what I want as a Newcastle United player. I just felt he was getting he was going forward, which was great. But then, Shelby got the assist. Yeah, so thanks for that, Adrian. I just couldn't remember who it was. I would have given him higher if he got the assist. But yeah, it's the usual Ritchie performance for me. I just love having him on the pitch. So yeah. Anything adding that, Sam? I can't really remember a lot of Ritchie.
No, I just find it funny that he gave the ball away in the second half, and then he's just absolutely just terrorised it to get it back. And he's just an absolute joy to watch.
I think we've always got a chance on his set pieces as well. He took one in the second half, which was an absolute peach of his corner, and there was just no one there. It was literally right in front of the keeper. So we've always got a chance with Matt Ritchie in the team. I've said it on Scoring Up Players a couple of times. It's no coincidence we've stayed up this season because since he come back in the team for the last 7 or 8 games, because he motivates everyone around him. And anyone who's played football, boy, you'd love someone at any level like him around. So hats off to him. What we say for a good few more years, Matt Ritchie. Sam, you mentioned before he'd been in 5 form. I think is that 6 and 6 for us now for Joe Willock.
I mean, terrible penalty, fantastic rebound, and I thought just for a minute there was a kind of moment where your arse fell out your trousers a bit because he made that little stumble as well. So you thought, oh, fuck, he's going to fuck up the follow up, but fortunately he didn't, and he buried it. I thought going forward he was lively and looked sharp again. Obviously a tricky battle for who he was up against today, but I thought he looked lively. We probably paid the price of playing the same kind of attacking midfield 3, if you like, because he was caught ball watching for one of their goals, for one of Torres' goals. Torres' second, I believe. I've been up since 5:30 this morning, and it's now 11:30. But we've got to sign him on a permanent. There's no two ways about it. I'm giving him a steady 6. Yeah, he does. And I think there is scope to keep him and the Longstaffs and Isaac Hayden, and there's weaker midfield, and Miggy, of course. There are weaker midfielders in that squad that could be cleared out. So he has to sign. He just has to.
Yeah.
I mean, Arsenal are willing to sell. I understand there are media reports circulating saying that they are willing sellers. Where have we heard that phrase before? But if it's 20 million, something like that, it's a no-brainer. It's not. I think he's done enough now that it's not it's not going to be like the Kennedy syndrome, where he can look a world beater on loan, then you get him again, and it's just horrendous.
Me, Matt and Carl had a debate last week. I don't know if you watched it on Score on the Players. Would you sell Miguel Almiron for 20 million to buy Joe Willock?
No, because this is about building a squad, a competitive squad.
Well, you agreed with me then, so that's fine. So you should have been on last week to help us.
No, I was in bed. No, this is the thing. It's about building a squad with actual depth. We've done that a bit this season, but mistakes have been made. But that needs to continue this summer because there's still a lot of dead wood that needs clearing out.
Yeah. No, completely. As always, completely agree with what you said. So I'll take the next one. Our captain, John Joe Shelby. So anyone who your game watches the shows last week, I was very critical of him. I'd sell the lad. He's one of these players I think it's just time's up with Newcastle. But dead wood in the squad. Doesn't win us matches anymore. But on today, I thought he was better than he was last week. I don't think he gives possession away half as much as he usually does. I think he was playing the simple ball a lot more. But again, there's just nothing standing out in me. He got the assist for the first goal, great corner. His corner
smashed the crossbar as well from that free kick, didn't he?
Free kick off the crossbar, he did. Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm glad you're here. You remind us.
72-year-old Scott Carson had no chance if that would have just dipped in.
But I just feel, and I might be too critical, in them last 20 minutes, we just needed legs in midfield, and he doesn't give us that. I thought we pressed very hard for 65 minutes, so it was no wonder we were knackered. But I just felt we needed that bit extra, and the subs were too late. So it was me, and I just felt Shelby's not that type of player. I'll give him a 6. I'm not gonna go lower than 6 because I was reasonably impressed from the day. I just see he's just very. His performances are getting very consistently average for me.
Yeah, and I think because I know he gets a lot of stick lately, but to kind of play devil's advocate, I think his defensive work in midfield is probably the best it's ever been. So it's one of them, but I appreciate that is because he's now kind of in the position where Isaac Hayden would be, and he's having to do the dirty work and the more defensive side of things, and it probably suits him in that role, just sitting in front of the back three or whatever and trying to ping the balls around. But he's one of them that kind of splits opinion at the moment. But I agree with you. I don't think he was bad tonight.
No, I don't think he was bad. I just think you expect what he can do. Like, some of the passes he can pick out. I think he's getting away from that type of player. He's more becoming, as you said, like a defensive midfielder. But yeah, much better from tonight, and hopefully he can take that on the Tuesday night. I think he prefers to play in front of fans. I really do. I think he's on this behind closed door nonsense stuff. Sam, we've discussed in the last few weeks it's possibly time for Miggy to come out of the team. Started again tonight. Steve Bruce is keeping faith week in, week out. How do you do?
He was frustrating tonight. On the whole, I think he did well because he was a really good outlet, and he was charging with a lot of counter attacks. Just that final pass was letting him down.
Final pass. I was going to say he holds on the ball too long at times. Yeah,
there was a moment where kind of between him and Joelinton, they ballsed it up because my initial frustration was with Miggy because he ran the ball 70 yards, beat about 4 City players, done fantastically well. The Matt made a fantastic point in the watch along because Miggy's through ball just went straight to Nathan Aké when it was just a simple pass to Joelinton, and he was in. But Matt's point was Joelinton should have been peeling away from the defender, creating the space to either open it up for Miggy to keep going or to find that ball to Joelinton. But it didn't happen. Joelinton's positional play is his big weakness, in my opinion. But again, Miggy was frustrating, but on the whole, he was a fantastic outlet. Made some fantastic runs and some fantastic passes to release ASM as well. I thought he was the best of the three midfielders tonight, if I'm honest. So that's why I've given him half a point more. It's just that final pass could have been better. But because Miggy's form is so patchy, it's nice to see him coming back into a purple patch again where he's played a lot better the last two games. Brilliant assist for Wilson last Friday. And he did well tonight, but it could have been... He was good tonight. He could have been great tonight.
Yeah, it's his confidence of getting goals and assists that he doesn't get enough of. He's the type of player reminds me of, not in the way he plays, but in how he's come to the club, as of an Alan Smith back in the day. You know, we signed Alan Smith as, you know...
Alan Smith does not have that pace.
No, not pace, but you come to the club, you expect him to play like going forward, and then we signed Miggy as like a number 10 exciting, and I think he's slowly developing it in just a hard work and centre midfield and no nonsense. And I think because we've got that expectation in our head that he should be scoring goals and he should be getting assists, I don't think he is that player anymore, whether that's down to Bruce or the formation, because I don't think he fits into this format. He did well tonight, I agree with you. But long term, is he really should be playing in this formation? I'm not sure. But
it doesn't suit him, but you know, it doesn't suit him. He's been messed around a lot with formations, but at the end of the day, he's got to be more adaptable himself.
Yeah. So we'll go on to our number 10 today. So it was ASM. So I've got ASM. Thought his work rate was excellent. I've criticised him for his work rate in the past. But he was excellent. I thought he was all over the pitch doing his defensive duties, which he was clearly told to do. He holds on the ball so well. But really does at times and just gets that pass off. He got away in the first half to put us 1-0 up we got the corner for the first goal. Did the right decision, played it into Big Joe, who it was actually good defender by Cal Walker actually. But you know, he's making them right decisions. I'll give him a 6.5 today. Possibly harsh, but
oh, he was good. Ran himself into the ground, didn't he? I mean, he looked absolutely knackered after 70 minutes.
I think if you're getting an assist or a goal, then yeah, the score would have shot up. But that's just, you know, how these videos work. I just love watching him, love having him in team. I can't wait to watch him on Wednesday night. I've only seen him a handful of times, you know, when we were allowed on the ground. I think we didn't get many games. It was only 8 or 9 games really we got to watch him, so I can't wait to see him live again. Again, I think he's a crowd player, loves the crowd there. He'll play up on Wednesday night. And I thought, you know, City players did look a bit worried when he got on the ball. Just massive player. Got to build the squad around him next season for me. Really do. Him and I mean, he misses Callum Wilson, he does, but yeah, didn't let us down.
So, does that mean you're leaving me with Joelinton?
I've got the man, the legend, the penalty scorer, who bottled the second penalty. But
yeah,
Joelinton, he got the goal today, penalty. How did he do overall play? Mixed
bag. Did some really, really good stuff, but did some pretty terrible stuff as well.
This is what he is.
Yeah, look, he do you know what? I'm giving him a 7. Worked hard, really hard. Was lively, was sharp, brilliant, intelligent play to win the penalty. Sometimes you've just got to twat him, and he did that, and he beat 95-year-old Scott Carson in the City goal. But there was some pretty horrendous stuff in there as well. I mean, that header that there was like a defensive clearance was absolutely hilarious. But, you know, credit to him, because Callum Wilson's a big miss, but it was almost like we didn't miss him tonight as much as we normally do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's a compliment to Joelinton, I suppose. And look, was it 3 or 4 goals in 7 games now? 3, you know, and you're going into them last 2 games against Sheffield United and Fulham, knowing you're going to start. So, you know, he's got to having some confidence, and hopefully he can bag another goal or 2 and end the season on a real high.
Yeah, I mean, he won the penalty. He won us the penalty. And he had the balls to take it, to be fair to him. He could have shied away from that. It was Matt Ritchie on the pitch who was a penalty taker. So credit to him for standing up. He maybe should have been a bit stronger in taking the ball off Joe Willock, but that's credit to Willock for, you know, you want people want to take penalties as bad as the second one was. So yeah, we've the subs, we had Longstaff come on for Ritchie, Lewis on for Joelinton, which was bizarre. And Gail got his usual 2-minute cameo for Fernandez. So we're not going to rate the subs. We didn't really think they had much time to earn a rating. Steve Bruce, I'll start with Sam. Can't really fault the team. He's named an unchanged team bar the injury that was forced upon him, the team that comfortably beat Leicester. Would you argue that Carroll or Gayle should start over Joelinton? No. Earlier in the season we would have. But Joelinton, he's had more game time than Carroll and Gayle, so he has to start really up front for me. I know there'll still be some fans not happy about it. There's still some fans want Carroll and Gayle in there, but Joelinton's had more minutes in the legs, and as Sam says, has scored more goals recently, so I can't really blame Bruce for starting him. Game management for us is really poor, and whether that comes from the sideline or the players on the pitch not standing, with something we really need to work on. Last week against Leicester, we got a bit squeaky bum time when it shouldn't have, and we conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes today. It comes down to game management, really. I didn't understand his substitutions again. I felt that. I mean, he did try and bring the players on, but we couldn't get the ball back for about 15 fucking minutes. So that's why it was a bit more delayed. I'm only going to highlight the Lewis Silva. I didn't really understand it. If someone wants to explain it to us, then feel free in the comments. But Lewis for Joelinton were 10 minutes ago when we were chasing the game. I didn't really get when Gayle was still on the bench. I think it was to push ESM up a bit further, but I didn't get that. He's getting his manager of the month today. Congratulations to him for it. We don't often give him much credit. We've had a bit hammer on the socials today. I saw all yous are negative about Bruce. I saw that. I had a couple of messages. You shouldn't be so sarcastic about Steve Bruce. So well done on him getting that. There's been some cracking memes about him holding this trophy. I'll give him a 6 today, because we did fall apart really. Game management style, but maybe harsh. But the subs for me are just too late. It's every week. Gayle coming on for cameo, it just doesn't make sense. Well, but his formation was fine. And I thought, what I will say is we did attack the game, which was better to see. If he could have easily set up that game to lose 1-0, 2-0, we probably would have. So he did have a goal, but that's why we conceded 4 goals. But it was a pleasure to watch for a change. If he set us up like that every week, I'd happily watch them. There's just still a couple of tactical decisions and substitutions I don't understand. So I was a bit lower than he possibly could have been.
I'd have given him a 7.5. So we'll have to meet in the middle. And
I can see why people would go higher. You know, I'm not slagging him off today by any means, because that was a Newcastle team I could buy into.
So it would have been really easy for him to stick Hendrick and Sean Longstaff in there today, but he's kept with the same kind of attacking team. He's given it a real go. We would have slagged him off to the hills if he'd have done that and put Hendrick and got 10 men behind the ball and just took a 2-0 loss before we'd even kicked a ball. He didn't do that. We've come out with our heads held high. It was a fantastic game to watch, which is what we've been craving for his entire tenure. He's got that tonight. The criticism, as you rightly pointed out, was the substitutions came too late. We were saying on the watch along that we wanted Andy Carroll to come on to just completely break Nathan Ake's heart and spirit because he was having a shocker. Nathan Ake was horrendous tonight. So Andy Carroll coming on would have absolutely tore him a new one. But, you know, the subs come too late yet again. But on the whole, it wasn't terrible. But there you go.
I've seen Steve Bruce set up a lot worse teams, must play a lot worse. So that is it. That is it. We've hit our half-hour mark. Me and Sam. Sam, thanks for everything again. Absolute legend.
No, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's been worth staying up for. We haven't, 2 Friday night games, and they've both been enjoyable. Obviously, disappointing not to get the win, but we've gone down fighting for a change.
Yeah. Well, we've got Sheffield United on Wednesday. I hope as many of his ours are going. I am. Sam's not. Who's a real fan there,
Wind your neck in.
So after this, please join Mr. Lawler on The Last Word, and thanks for everyone tonight for following along Newcastle Fans TV. Please like and share the video.